So, Frank, the unemployment rate hits a new all-time high. No surprises, right?
No, I don't think there were any surprises. COVID pushed us over the ledge, but we've been going down this path for quite some time now.
So some analysts are saying that it wasn't as bad as expected. Would you agree with that?
Look, we were already bad for quite some time. I mean, if a third of your population is unemployed that could be working, that's a crisis in anyone's language. I think what they perhaps meant is that consensus forecasts were slightly higher than the value that came out. And I think it's very difficult for economists at this point to forecast things such as economic growth or unemployment, especially when we get subsequent waves of COVID coming through and lockdowns are revisited. There just hasn't been a lot of stability in the economy, at least over the last year.
So let's expand on that a bit more because, you know, how much is the pandemic to blame for what we're seeing, knowing that our economy was in the doldrums even before COVID-19 hit us?
Well, the official statistics account for about 2.2 million unemployed that were additionally added to the unemployment rolls based on, as a consequence, a direct consequence of COVID. So if you take the sort of 7.2 and into context currently, and then you have to look at the 2.2 that sort of were additionally unemployed, as well as the discouraged work seekers. It's hard to differentiate what is to blame for what. The general economic conditions, I think, are still the main reason why we haven't absorbed more employment or more labor into our economy. Basically, a third of the population that could be working is unemployed, and 2/3 have a job. And that gets worse if I add the discouraged work seekers to that statistic.
What does it mean, though, for our economy that 7.2 million people in South Africa are officially unemployed?
So, obviously, Shahan, if you want to produce as a country wealth, goods and services, income, you want to create jobs for people in the process, it means that you are sort of limiting the amount of growth in the economy that one could be generating. And obviously that growth translates into income for the citizens. It also translates to government revenues. And therefore, from an economist's point of view, it's a productive resource that you're not employing in the economy. Of course, we have other issues such as, you know, sort of economic inclusion. It's not even taking to those type of things into account, where after the end of apartheid, I think there was a lot of focus on getting the unemployed involved with the economy and sharing in the benefits of that economy. Well, we haven't seen much of that taking place.
How can we recover? Are things promising in some sectors that could see a slower recovery in this regard?
Yeah, so I think specifically the COVID impact has been very sectoral of nature. And we see, if I take the 10 main sectors of the economy, 5 of those have lost employment in the first quarter of this year, and 5 have gained employment in the first quarter of this year. And that's not even including sectors such as tourism, which we know probably was hurt the most through the COVID time. So there's never a silver bullet for something like employment or economic growth, for that matter. It requires an integrated approach to grow the economy. That growth must be broad-based to be able to absorb labor. We need things such as investment. We obviously need to keep the lights on. Vaccinations would help with sectors such as tourism and the hospitality sector, which has been hardest hit. Investment would also allow perhaps construction sector to kick up again or kickstart itself. Generally, the first quarter anyway is a slight reduction in employment from the fourth quarter of the previous year. As the economy went into the holiday season and the summer holiday season, Christmas, normally more labor is absorbed into the economy in the trade sectors and hospitality sectors anyway. So some of that is seasonal of nature, but we need to do more about getting this economy growing so that more jobs are created.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight. Appreciate it. That was Frank Blackmore, a lead economist at KPMG.